Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. أول خو بختوك يوسو خبر كوما تولو خبر درونو أو بالمنوطة. ما خويش داو من بختوك داو كوخو دلتي بعض دس families دي جاول to speaking دي no بيام دا غدا وكو جيرا بكار دا إنجليش كي أو دوكي no دا غوا جبان دي أنا دايرة دا خون خبلا جبا كيفو أو so I'm going to present Mia Seb just briefly talked about what how it is about, how we formed it, and how we are conducting our business, how many members we have. So I'll be just briefly touching about that how this herd came into existence, how we are doing with our partnerships, like just our sister Parveen mentioned about IDRF, and we have the other 4 or 5 students we are sponsoring through Core Foundation. And the clinic that we supported in Charsada district. So I'll be just briefly talking with you, very briefly. So I just request you and hope that you won't get bored and will pay attention, because the only interest we have in coming over here and asking you is to continue helping us so that we help our people back home who are very much in need and in distress. This organization was formed based on the 2009 turmoil in Swat, Malacan, Dir, and surrounding areas where we have like more than 3 million internally displaced persons. And after that, in 2010, we have the worst flooding in history that cost about, based on the UN figures, that cost about $16 billion. And the people are still suffering there. I had been to Pakistan last year, and I saw with my own eyes in Swat, at least, that what was going on there, although they get aid from international agencies and the Western governments, but on the ground, mostly very few people get the real help. So I'm just going to not take much of your time and go with the presentation that what I have prepared. So just a typical agenda that usually we have for presentation, that okay, I'll just briefly touch. I already talked much about heart, but just mentioning a few more points about its background, what are our future planning, and what are the key issues that we are facing. And we also want your feedback that what are our common goals in such for such organization and helping people, because everyone, I understand that everyone has in its heart, and a lot of our community member, our people doing that they are helping in whatever capacity they have back home, either sending money to their relatives or through some other means, but they are helping out. But this kind of platform in this society is very important, because we saw that when we raised fund for the flood in 2010, that government asked for matching. If we could raise $50,000, government was going to give $50,000, so it would double that. Now, individually, everyone was doing that. They were supporting, they were sending money, but it wasn't having that effect that an organization like a community can do together and combine. And there's the problem, that our people don't understand this. We request every time we have these get-together and functions, we have 2 or 3 different interests in that okay, first we have to get together our families, kids, and at the same time to have such kind of organization there so that we could help our people back there to the government's help and the community help over here. So we would again request you to kind of spread this word. And then the other important point is that, okay, how we are going to proceed, what we have thinking in our mind. And then the end of the presentation. So already Mia Janzeb have talked about our background, that how this organization, so it's still in infancy. Like, we get together with other community members, a lot of respected members, elders, youngers, that we had that in 2010, 2009, those 2 important issues that we raised funds for. And after that, we decided that, okay, like what, unfortunately, back there, we always face these problems, or people always face these problems. So why not have a kind of permanent? There are a lot of organizations, there's no question about that. Big organizations, small organizations, but there is still a need. And if we look surrounding, like Sister Parveen mentioned, that we were interested in only operating in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa. That was the time, at that time we were seeing that, for example, Swat Valley or Nowshera or Peshawar, those were hardly hit districts that got hit in the flood. And the same was during the IDPs, that those areas were, so that's why we were, otherwise there were a lot of need in the whole of Pakistan. And we are not just only confined to that's our future thinking, that we want to help anyone in distress. That's why we put that humanitarian aid and rehabilitation. It's just not only specifically for a certain area or certain people. It's like our statement. I will just show you that what our statement is. And that's, we mentioned that we are thinking about the whole humanity. But first we have to take steps from our own backyard, our own homes, our own surroundings, and then we, inshallah, will spread. So this is how we got, like we just got together, I think it was October 2010. We have very limited resources. Like we are hardly, I guess, 18 or 19 permanent members. That's it. Like we keep on asking, but we are not going at that, like making it very on that high level. So, but just like whatever friends we know, we ask them to come, and that's why we are requesting you, whoever came here and who are not members, to please have a member. There's nothing, it's just a feasibility, it's a charity. We have $20 per month, or for the whole year is $240 every member had to pay. That's the criteria for being a member there. There's nothing else. So, and that's the volunteering that we ask them for, having to serve on the board or to serve in the executive. Now what we did, as we mentioned, that we conducted successful 2 events. I just want to show you some clips from that. That the one for the IDPs in 2009. So we have that in here in this Pile banquet hall. We had that a big successful event at that time, and we raised some funds, and then we sent them back through Islamic Relief Canada, and also to some personal channels that we help the people there. And I hope that people still would have that in mind. But I am from that area. I know my family suffered, so I still have those things fresh in my mind, that what happened to those more than 3 million people. It was roughly 3.5 million. So it was one of the worst, after Rwanda, I guess, so it was the worst human movement, what they call internally displaced persons. Then we have the 2010 flood devastation. That was what was happening there. There's the first picture is for Madian Swat. There's that other one was Nowshera. That one was from Punjab and the other was from Sindh. So it was like, everyone knows that it was in the whole Pakistan. Those floods devastated the livelihood and lives of a lot of peoples. And we tried our best at the time to get together our community, ask others for help. At that time, we asked even the member of parliament, the member of provincial parliament to come and and they did do their best. And we were successful in raising close to about $40,000 at a time, because the rush was at the time that government announcing, they gave us a cut-off date that, okay, we are going to match as much as you raise. And that's how then got we contacting with the IDRF. So then the other important thing is that we launched our website, which is very important for being online and through media, through internet, that we have now our website. One of our board directors, Mr. Abdul Rabb, was kind enough to have that established, and he's looking after that based on our feedback, or the community feedback. And the other important point I want to mention, that we have this improved communication with other non-profit organizations, just like IDRF, Palkor Foundation back in Swat, or Shine, which was also working with IDRF, and it's I guess a California-based non-profit organization. And then at the same time, we are having other activities that through Palkor, as Miajan Zeb mentioned, that we are sponsoring about 4 or 5 kids. And then we provided funding, just Sister Parveen mentioned from IDRF, that they are in Peshawar, they are at the Shaukat Khanum Memorial Hospital of Lahore. They are having a mobile walk-in clinics in Peshawar. And what they do, the idea is that instead of everyone going to Lahore, paying expensing, traveling, lodging, everything. They are offering that service in Peshawar. They screen the people, and whoever is in that red zone for being probable cancer patient, they are screening those, and we are, with our help through IDRF, we are helping that those mobile clinic in Peshawar. And then we, as Sister Praveen mentioned, that there was this one dispensary, the clinic, which Shine was operating in the outskirts of, I guess, Peshawar, that we also funded that. Then this year in March, there was this fundraising for Somalia. We offer, like, we don't have our own resources. I told you that we have hardly 18, 19 members, so we don't have much money, but we wanted to kind of help them, so we also provided them some funding. And then there is this one hospital project in Azad Jammu Kashmir that we, one of our members, we actually came to knowledge through him, and then we, apart from like our own board member, the directors, we raised those little meager funds, and we offered them some money so that it could help somehow in that hospital construction. It's a remote area in Azad Jammu Kashmir. Now, just quickly going, I'm not going to take much of the time. That now, as I mentioned earlier, that okay, what the future planning is. So we have, like, an organization should have a mission that okay, why heart exists, and what is our public statement? What we entail in that statement? What are the core values that we actually operate? What are our principles? And what are our goals in our minds? What specific things heart has to accomplish? And then what's the strategic direction and future planning we have to take? And then finally, the important and most important thing is monitoring and review, because and that's why people are hesitant that they don't see any progress and any on the ground, that okay, we give money, we don't know that what happens to that. So inshallah, with your help, we will make this everything clear and crystal. And we already have one of our auditor, Jalal Shah. So he already is doing our audit, and we will be providing, just like Fazal Majid providing you with our financial status. We have everything on our website, and we will do all these things, but we really need your support so that we could move ahead and get some more funding, because we already are in touch with organizations back there on the ground, and we have to provide this funding. So this is actually our mission statement, that HEART is dedicated to support those who are less fortunate and suffer tremendously in human tragedies, and it will strive hard to provide support in rebuilding their lives through better education and health opportunities. So we are not just confined to any particular area, any province. We're just thinking of the whole humanity. And the two important sectors we found out is health and education. Everyone knows back home that those are the most important sectors of our society. So our core values, these are our core values. Like, we are thinking of the whole community, nobody just, I'm thinking of just only my family there, our other member thinking of his family. No, we are thinking of the whole community, that we are obliged to help them, because we know better than here, like the organization over here, they don't have that idea that what we see, the suffering in our neighborhoods back there, in our surroundings, in our villages, in our towns, our province, and the whole country. So that's why we are thinking of the whole community. And next is volunteerism. It's purely a volunteering organizations. We have no personal interest in it. Everyone among us, our members, they are all working. Everyone is busy, individual professionals. And this time we take to kind of once in a while meet together, think about it, that okay, how to generate funds, how to help back there. It's pure volunteerism. There's nothing in that. And that's, we ask you to also help us and work as a volunteer with us and move this organization forward. It's a teamwork, so it's not any individual agenda or anything. It's just a combined teamwork. And as I mentioned before, that we will be totally accountable and transparent, and we will, inshallah, strive for the excellence. Then these are the key strategies that we are thinking, that we should have a strong and representative membership. It would be inclusive membership, not only confined to only one particular ethnicity, or community, or country, or religion. No, whoever wants to join us, he or she is most welcome. Then we have communications, like we are improving our communication with the community, with the whole Canadian society. That's why we build our website. And we will, inshallah, in future, we would have the same get-togethers, and we will be hoping that we would have more gathering, and we would invite parliamentarians, politicians, so that we get this word out. Then we have the capacity building. We are thinking of the capacity building of HERD, that we have to strengthen its existing structure and build partnerships with others, so that we learn from other organizations that how they work, and we have to follow their steps that to become as successful as they are. And then again, the most important thing is network and advocacy, that we have to make partners just like IDRF or Palcor, and we to stress this volunteerism among our members, among the community, so that we have a successful fundraising events and such campaigns that we did in 2010 and 2009. Now, the hardest part is that I've read this, that I mentioned here on thanks to Google, that 90% of organizations fail to successfully implement their strategy. Now, we all have a nice thinking, nice good planning in our minds, but actually implementing that is the hardest part. And that's why a lot of organizations fail. So the reason for that is that we have lack of knowledge and communications. Because the important thing is that based on that study, the 95% of the members of an organization actually don't understand the strategy, that why they are together, why they are doing this, and what they have to achieve. 85% of the executive team members of any organizations spend very less time to actually discuss the strategy that very often. And then the other important is lack of resources. Just like we are struggling right now, that we have very few memberships, so we can generate resources. We can help a big gathering like this because it takes a lot of money and time and everything. So that's the lack of resource, and then lack of commitment. But inshallah, we have that commitment among our members, and we hope that from the community and from you all to have fully committed with us. Now, I'm just going to briefly mention there will be a few slides and a few clips of videos. So just briefly touching about the partnership that I just discussed, like IRDF and IDRF and Palcor. So this is the IDRF website. I had this a little while ago when Sister Parveen was talking. And it's an established organization, already on the ground in a lot of countries, not only in Pakistan, it's in Middle East, it's in South Asia, Africa. And through them, we are helping Shaukat Khanum Memorial Hospital back in Pakistan, in Peshawar. So now I have these from their website that they just inaugurated a few months ago. The provincial government provided them land in Hyderabad, and they will be building a hospital just like they have in Lahore for the people of Khyber Pakhtunkhwa and Afghanistan. So that's just those few photographs of that. And at the same time, just as I mentioned before, that we are supporting their mobile clinics where they screen patients for further treatment in their Lahore main hospital. And these are just, we were provided, like as I told you, that everything is transparent. What money we send or we provide to IDRF or Shaukat Khanum Memorial Hospital, we ask them to provide interim reports, their ongoing progress reports, and that's one of the report that IDRF provided to us, that okay, how they are spending their money, and Shaukat Khanum Memorial Hospital administration has provided this interim report that where they are spending their money. So it has all the details. I'm sorry that it's probably not clearly shown there on the slide, but it has all the details that, okay, how many patients they have seen, how many children were there, how many adults were included, and then the whole figure, like the total patients, as Sister Parveen mentioned before, it was about 1,251. And we are really glad and thankful to Allah that we are the supporters to provide them that funds. And it's because of our community and our memberships that we got this opportunity to help the people back home. Then the other organization we are working is Palcor. It's a SWAT-based organization. It also has a wonderful website. It has all the information. And it was actually built like a few years ago. It was like probably 10, 15 years ago. This one guy took this initiative, and he was actually helping orphans back home. Like in those areas, we don't have any proper such system, just like here. So it was a wonderful step from that guy, Muhammad Ali. And he actually, and then final push he got was when the problem of the Taliban insurgents in Swat Valley, that there were a lot of families lost their breadwinners, their male adults, and then the children got orphans. And it was Khpal that they provided them the shelter and free education and free lodging. And we are, thanks to Allah, that we are supporting 4 students, now fully sponsoring them, 1 girl and 3 boys. And with your generosity and your help, we inshallah are hopeful that we will fund some more and we will sponsor some more students inshallah in the future. So this is just also from there, they do regular wonderful events, annual days, different activities, different sport days, and everyone is provided. And these are all like poor, belongs to the very poor and orphan kids from very poor background, very poor families. And this is one, like, those are the students that we are, so we have all the record, we ask them that, okay, who we are funding right there, who is our students. So they have provided all the details of the students that we are sponsoring. Like, this is a girl named Asma. They have all the details that, okay, which village does she belong, which grade she is in, how is her routine, that how her is like, she in her studies, our extracurricular activities. The same, there is another student, it's a young boy, Salahuddin. There's also one, Mohsin Khan, he's from, so they are all from different areas and different villages. And we are proudly supporting them. Now this is that, I just mentioned the health clinic in Charsadda, that we are providing health through IDRF, and one of our board members, our member, Nasser Khan, he just visited in this August. Back home he went, and then he got some time to go there and check it out, that, okay, how our money is spent there. So he actually went into that clinic, he checked all the details, that, okay, how they got their the medicines, how they provided to the patients. Because that's what we asked them, to provide it free of cost to the poor and the helpless. And that's the conclusion, that the future planning is an important aspect for the success of an organization that is joint effort by all the stakeholders. So it's not only just that we are members and we are to take care of such organization. You have seen this and you know, as far as I know, or as better as I know, everyone among you knows better what's happening back homes in our communities and in our neighborhoods, and even with our families, our friends. So HERT's members look forward to this joint effort to make HERT a strong platform for helping the less fortunate around the globe with your help and generosity. So thank you very much, and I hope I have said enough, more than enough. یا پښتو کې تاسو ټول نه مدغه خواست دی چې زکات پیسې د خیرات پیسې ټیک د پخپله باندې هم ورکوئ، د هغې نه به څوک نه دغه کوي، په هغې باندې تاسو کېدای شي زیات خلک پېژنئ. خو څنګه چې ته مې ووایي چې په داسې کمیونټي بیس هغه باندې دا سوسایټي دلته داسې ده چې دا د پاکستان یا زموږ د پښتنو په شان سوسایټي نه ده. دې کې چې څومره کمباینډ ارګنایزیشن یا کمباینډ پلیټفارم وي، د هغې زیاته فایده ده بنسبت د ذاتي. نو هغه هم کوئ، خو که چا سره داسې دغه راځي، سپیشلي زنانو خویندو ته او مشرانو کشرانو ته خواست دی چې ممبرشپ یوازې نارینهو دپاره نه دی، تاسو دپاره هم دی. که موږ کې څوک هم تاسو دا کولی شئ د چا خیراتي پیسې، نو دغه کسان مو وکتل 4 کسان موږ سپانسر کړي دي، نور به هم کوو. شوکت خان هم کې به انشاءالله هیلپ کوو، نور هم په زړه کې مو ډېر څه دي، خو انشاءالله که ریسورسې را سره شو او دونه جوګه شو، د دونه کیپبل شو چې یاره موږ کولی شو، نو انشاءالله ستاسو په دعا سره به خیري دا ارګنایزیشن مخ روان.